Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Advent 3 at Unity Halton Peel. I'm Wendy Carr, licensed Unity teacher, and it is my privilege to continue and finish this series today. We're doing something special for Christmas Eve Day, so this is kind of it for the series. So today we're going to talk about Christmas gifts for me. The first 2 weeks, we talked about the Christmas story, what it meant metaphysically, what it meant symbolically. And I wanted to bring that into our understanding because that's what metaphysics is all about. That's what metaphysical Bible interpretation is all about, is finding the meaning behind the stories, finding places where we can go into the Bible and say, oh, that sounds familiar. And what did this character do? And what might that inspire me to do? So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. So the first question is, what is Christmas giving me this year? I've got a couple presents under the tree already, and I can't wait to open them because I'm not sure what's in them. And I want to send a shout out to my friend Kent. I follow him on Facebook, and he asked 3 questions. And as I was reading through the questions, I went, oh, that could make a really good Sunday talk. I don't know when or where, but that could make a really good Sunday talk. Today's the day that's going to be our Sunday talk. So what is Christmas giving me this year? And it's not just limited to the physical. It's not just limited to what's under the tree. What is it giving you emotionally? What is it giving you mentally? What is it giving you physically? What is it giving you psychologically? What is it giving to your prosperity consciousness? Big questions, really big questions. And I go back to the Christmas story and say, okay, let's look at this again, but from the lens of how can I take this story and understand it for myself? So one thought I have had, especially after the songs that I chose for earlier, to me, now I've never had a child, okay? So I can't speak from personal experience. So, but to me, riding a donkey while significantly pregnant probably helped induce labor, I would think. I remember when my mom was pregnant with my sister, and we would go out to the worst roads and bump along to try and get her to pop out. It did eventually work though. But it's like that for us. So what is it? What am I riding along? What am I escaping? What am I looking away from? What am I looking forward to? So as we mentioned, one of our congregants has passed, and it's kind of put a damper on some of our Christmas experience because I know I will miss her. And I've had a death in my extended family. I was at the celebration of life last week, and there was lots of laughter, which is what I anticipated would happen because of the person who we were celebrating. And there's some sadness there. So what is Christmas giving me this year? Well, for me, one of the biggest gifts was last week when I was at my cousin's celebration. I got to reconnect with my family that I hadn't seen since before COVID. And so it's been a while. The kids have grown up a bit. We've all gotten some more gray hairs, those of us that are a bit older. So for me, this Christmas, that was part of my gift this year. A early present, granted, but that community, that sense of family again, has been rekindled. And it's a wonderful gift to have. So that's just a personal example. I'm sure that all of you, if you take some time to, think back and look at what's happened, what is happening, perhaps there's something that's going, next year, could we pay a little bit more attention to what you're eating so that we're healthier next year? Little things like that. It doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes the smallest things are the things that bring the greatest gift. Think about how pearls are made. It just takes a tiny grain of sand to irritate the oyster to create that pearl. And so too with us. Have you ever noticed that the smallest stone in your sandal is the one that hurts the most? Big stone you immediately notice, but that one that just won't come out. Things like that. What can we expect for Christmas this year? And Christmas can be every day. Don't just limit yourself to the 25th, okay? But that spirit of Christmas, what are we going to receive? What are we open to receive? And that's a whole other discussion, which we'll get to. First of all, the gifts, know what you stand for. And I really got thinking about this. And I really can't think of a time I didn't get a Christmas, that I got a Christmas gift that was so inappropriate for me that, I just kind of wanted to say, geez, do you even know me? Thankfully, that's never happened, but perhaps that's happened to you at an office party or something. But what do you stand for? What are you bringing? What gifts are you bringing with you through the Christmas period into the new year? Are there areas of your life that need a little bit of cleanup? Are there areas of your life that you would like to be able to articulate better? Is there something in your heart that you've been thinking about doing or wanting to do, but you haven't had the gumption to say, this is what I want? Perhaps you've wanted to try painting, but have been, a little bit unsure about that for fear that you might be, teased or criticized. What do you stand for? I would like to think that my actions and my activities indicate that I stand for peace, that I stand for prosperity, that I stand for human rights for all, that I stand for tolerance. And there are times I miss the mark. I admit it. There are some people in this world, particularly high-profile politicians, who drive me to turn the TV off or turn off or to change the channel. But what do I stand for? What is it that I am bringing to the world? What is it that I have within me? And if you're not sure about that, I've got an inspiration for you from our story that we've been following. Twice in the book of Luke, we are told, and Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. And then we are told later, and his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And that's where what do I stand for comes from, is from our heart. It can come from our head as well. But my experience has been that anytime I have a head thought, if I don't have a heart emotion underneath it, it doesn't come into fruition. It doesn't bear fruit. It doesn't come into manifestation, or it doesn't get expressed properly. That's been my experience. Anytime I have had an idea or a head thought about what I stand for, if my heart's not there, it just dissipates. So something to consider. What are you pondering and treasuring in your heart? And it could be a person. It could be a situation. It can be a goal that you have held that perhaps it feels like the time is right. And it's time to step out in confidence. And as I'm saying that, there's a part of me that's going, no, I'm scared. And I'll take a deep breath and I'll try it. But taking that time to go into your heart and saying, what is it about me that makes me and my gifts special and unique in this world? And that is, I think, right now, with what's going on in this world, with wars and chaos and lack and limitation, that's really what we're called to be. It's not so much about doing. Doing's important, don't get me wrong. Doing is very important. And holding that space is as important, if not more, because it is raising the consciousness around us. I mean, have you ever been around someone who, kind of gets it? And you want to know, well, what is it about you that you are doing so well and that you bring this energy to, to everyone? The second thought is know where you are going. It's all well and good for me to say, okay, so next year I'm going to fill in the blanks. Well, what's underlying that? Is there something you need to purchase? I might decide I want to take swimming lessons because it's been a while since I've been in a pool. So I will need to take the steps to facilitate that. I will need to take some steps to do that. I might think, you know what? I think I'm ready to reach out to a family member that I'm having a discussion with, that we're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, and say, you know what? I'm willing to go down the path of peace, and let's get together and have coffee and talk it through and take those steps. Maybe the step is much more personal. Maybe the step is to go through and get rid of what I call metaphysical dust bunnies. Those thoughts, feelings, societal norms, beliefs, values that no longer serve me. And as I've shared before, I've been in Unity almost 40 years, and I still find them. I still find them because as a child, I buried them so deeply that it's taken, it's got layers. It's been taking that time to clean it out gently, please, very gently. But perhaps it is time to do some reflection and to make that conscious decision to do forgiveness work so that you can change your path, so that you're not schlepping all of the old stuff with you. I remember years ago, decades ago, probably now, Oprah Winfrey had, I've forgotten what the show was about. It was about forgiveness. I forget whether it was a book or a speaker or what, but she went off stage and came back with a train of suitcases. And she was describing how the suitcases were all the things that we were carrying that we didn't need to. And it can be scary to let go of stuff, because one of the things that those things carry are the memories of those who are not with us anymore. And to say, okay, I'm willing to let go of. Perhaps it's some hurt. Perhaps it's the feeling of loneliness that someone isn't in your life anymore. But to let go of whatever doesn't serve you anymore. To let go of that which, you kind of look at it and say, why did I think that? Why did I accept that? And again, I say, please be gentle with yourself. A lot of these things we took in as children, and we didn't question because a trusted adult was telling us, whether it was a teacher, a pastor, a minister, a rabbi, and they were doing the best with what they had and with their own belief system. I've come to realize that there are quite a few nuances now. I'm now on nuances of the church that I grew up in. And realizing that as I work through the metaphysics and as I work through the idea of letting go and being willing to let go, I don't have to let go of the good memories that I have of Sunday school. I don't have to let go of the knowledge I gained from them. I can let go of the parts that no longer serve, keep the parts that serve, dust them off, and put them in a place of honor. Where are you going? Well, let's go back to our story. Now, after the Magi had left, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt." Egypt, symbolically, metaphysically, represents that space where we are safe while everything's going crazy around us. We're first introduced to the idea of going to Egypt in the story of Joseph, and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. If you've seen the show, go back into Genesis. It's right there, line for line. They were very good about keeping the script to the original story. But Egypt was a symbol for plenty, a symbol for safety. Even though Joseph eventually ended up in bondage, initially he was high in command. So what does that mean for us? Is there a space where we need to say, okay, you know what? I know that I need to eventually go back to my metaphysical hometown, but right now I need to take a breath. I need to go and allow my ego and whatever's happening in the world to just settle down and Let me sort things out. This was, as you may recall from last week's lesson, Herod represents our ego. Herod represents that part of us that doesn't want us to move forward spiritually. It's that part of us that is prideful and wants to be, the center of attention and things like that. And being the center of attention is not necessarily a bad thing. But when it's done in a way that is harmful to others, then we have a challenge. And that's why we need to escape from Egypt. That's why we need to, every so often do a media fast. Don't watch the news for 24 hours. Take that time to go within yourself and do some reflection. Feed your body with good food and perhaps some poetry or some inspirational, some TED Talks, perhaps. Things that will feed you while you're getting ready for the next stage of the journey. And then finally, know why it matters. Why does it matter that we get together on a weekly basis and have someone speak about things? Why does it matter? It's an opportunity for community. It's an opportunity to get together as we do, before and after the recording, to say, hey, how are you doing? What's new? What's happening? How's that kitten of yours growing? We see the pets come into the screen sometimes. And know why it matters. Why does it matter that I do this? I do this because I believe I have something to share. I do this because I think of you as my spiritual family. I do this because there is something within me that was awakened a few years ago that said, this is what you are called to do. And initially I said, what the fluff? Are you kidding me? I don't want to be on YouTube and Facebook. And now I've come into a space where it feels more comfortable, where I am getting feedback that I am helping people, where I'm getting feedback that what I do has mattered to someone else, that I truly am being a light to the world. I'm not reaching everybody. I don't expect to reach everybody. But that's my why. And that's a big question to ask. Why am I doing this? Why am I undertaking this? And sometimes that takes a while to get the answer. I would say it probably took me 4 or 5 years before I got my why kind of stabilized. And I feel like there's another change coming. And I don't know what it looks like yet, but something's kind of twiggling in me. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to have some fun in 2024. But know why it matters. And it's okay and perfectly acceptable. It's the only person it matters to is you, because it's your life. It can be difficult when other people say, well, what you doing that for? Doesn't mean anything. It can be difficult to take criticism. It can be difficult, especially if it's family or close friends who are, not sure about what you're doing or why. And I invite you to just take that breath and say, okay, it's okay. I can say no. I can say yes. I can say not now, but later. Going back to our story in Matthew, and remain there until I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him. Then Joseph woke up, took the child and his mother by night, and went to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. What does this mean for us symbolically, metaphysically? It means that it's okay to take the time to figure out what your next step is. This isn't about, okay, open the Christmas gift to yourself and everything changes immediately. My journey's been in some ways, very slow, but it's been a journey. There have been steps involved. There has been forgiveness work involved. There has been forgiveness of myself involved. There has been time in Egypt, time pulled away from others to find that space to figure out what that next step looks like. And to protect those dreams, those hopes, those aspirations, those inner pushes from the outside world, from the critics, from my own inner critic. and to be in that space where I am generating that next best step. Oh, I know you're going to say, but the baby's already born. Yes, but we need to protect the baby so the baby can grow up in a healthy way. When I have an idea, it's very rare that I will share it with anybody. There are a couple people I will usually share with because they're my prayer partners, but I don't even always share with them until I'm good and ready, before I'm sure that there is a pregnant thought there, that there is a goal there that is mine to do. Once that child is born, once that idea becomes into manifestation, and of course I'm going to share it with the world. We're told that Jesus was taken up to the temple to be circumcised, as was the custom of the Jewish people. So too, it's like that for me and for all of us, that we get to a point where we present the idea out to the world, that we say, hey world, I'm here. This is my thought. This is my idea. This is my plan. Come and walk with me or not. Your choice. It's interesting sometimes what happens when we come out of ourselves and say, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is my gift to this world. Are there any gifts for me to take into 2024? There are some things in 2023. I'm going to leave in 2023. Do not want to carry them with me. And there's a lot I'm going to take into 2024. As I alluded to at the beginning, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I'm going to be starting a new program in February that I'm excited about. And I'm not sure what it's going to look like. Somebody said, can you describe it more? And I said, no, it's still in a baby format. I haven't gotten to the point where it's walking and talking and feeding itself and doing all the things that a human being needs to do. It's right now, it's just kind of a thought in my mind that will actually need others to help bring it into fruition, which is really cool. That's the best part. Opportunity for more community. What does 2024 look like for us? I'm not sure. And that's okay. And at the same time, my human self says, but. And it's an opportunity for us to look at the Christmas story again and say, what did they carry into the future? They carried the wisdom of the Christ child. That Christ within us, that part of us that is divine, that is universal, that is eternal. We in Unity use the word Christ to mean that aspect rather than it just and only referring to Jesus. And there's an opportunity here for us at Unity at Halton Peel and anywhere to be the light, to be the peace, to be the love, to be the prosperity that our world needs, and to set by example a path for others to follow. Do I know what it looks like? Not really. I hope that it will bring us all a sense of peace and joy and love and prosperity and wholeness. Because to me, if it doesn't bless all, then it's not the right path, if that makes any sense. It's really about being who we truly are, who we were called to be. And I'm sure, like the characters in the Christmas story, Elizabeth and Zechariah, Mary and Joseph, Simeon and Anna, 3 sets of men and women who were called to do something that I'm sure, and we're told in a couple cases, they said, who, me? Really? And here's your opportunity to say, who, me? Really? And be the blessing that you are in 2024. So this is my last opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas from our channel. So blessings to all of you as we move into our meditation. And I'll just invite everyone, as you're able and comfortable, to breathe into the space where you feel that connection. Some have called it the altar of the heart, the cathedral of the soul, that space within your body where you feel connection, where you feel something beyond the human. And just breathing into that space, feeling the energy of that space, knowing that even though we are not in the same room or even at the same time, we are one. The oneness that is and expresses as us, transcends time and space. We move into this time, taking with us our thought. I joyously anticipate the blessings of 2024 as I give thanks for the gifts of 2023. As Mary and Joseph gave up wherever they were living to travel to Egypt, so I too recognize that I have a journey to take this year. I have a journey to continue in next year. And while it may be done in a sense of not knowing, we're told Joseph and Mary traveled in the night. We are confident that the sun will rise and we will understand what is ours to do, what is ours to unlearn, what is ours to learn, and what is ours to relearn. And in the silence now, we take a moment to give thanks for the gifts of 2023. And in this consciousness of gratitude, we look ahead. We joyously anticipate this new year. Even with its uncertainties, we know that blessings await. We know that opportunities await. We know that friendships and relationships await. And that as we journey, we will meet up with each of these blessings. That our prosperity and wholeness will continue to unfold in wonderful and amazing ways. And for this opportunity to come together in our oneness, we are so grateful. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. This week, we conclude our Advent discussion. You don't have to have attended any of them. If you'd like to jump in on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and join us for some interesting discussion. It's been wonderful. We've been across Canada and at least one folk from the US. So it's been an international experience this year. Next Sunday, we will not have a Zoom call. We will instead join Unity Spiritual Center in Hamilton for their candle lighting service. You are welcome to join in person if that's convenient for you to travel to. Meditation starts at 10 till about 10:15, and then service will start at 10:30. And I am honored to be doing the candle lighting portion of the service, and Rev Ann will be the platform person. So we put together the service a couple weeks ago, and I am so pumped to do it. Can't begin to tell you. So thank you, Unity Spiritual Center and Rev Ann, for the invitation. So we will jointly get together next week and celebrate in that way. As always, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook and you want to know more, please check out our newsletter. There are places to join our, go to our website to join our newsletter, is what I'm trying to say. And lots of opportunities and upcoming speakers are noted. And there are resources available for your spiritual growth and development. Also there, please check, if you haven't already, to ask to become a member or to renew your membership if you are already a voting member. This is one of those render unto Caesar things where we need to have our membership indicated by the end of the year. As always, we thank you in advance for your financial gifts. This is 100% run by the donations of our viewers and participants. So thank you. Information is available at our website for all of the capacities for sending us your gifts. And we thank you and appreciate you. As always, we are doing a special add-on of donations to the Willow Foundation. Please indicate if you're doing an e-transfer or sending a check that the funds are for the Willow Foundation. And we continue to be a tithing ministry. And as always, for December, we will be tithing to Eden Food for Change. And there's more information. Oops, and I didn't change that slide. Oh, well, it's captured for all eternity that in November and December, we tithe there. As always, our prayer chaplain and chaplain team are available for prayer intentions. So you can email praywithdiane@gmail.com. Your prayer intention will be held in confidentiality for 30 days and then sent to World Headquarters, where it will be prayed over for another 30 days. Spirit groups are starting up again in the new year, and it's exciting. Or at least I think it's exciting. I am loving that the Canadian spiritual groups are coming together, that the ministries are coming together, and that instead of Canadians only seeing each other once or twice a year, that we are getting together and co-creating community across across not only Canada, but the US as well. It's been a real opportunity for communion with each other. So the training for someone wanting to be a host or provide leadership will be on the 11th of January. And if you go to Unity Canada's website under Spirit Groups, there's more information about that. Now, I alluded to something new that I'm doing. I'm going to be one of the co-leaders for a spirit group on What's So Good About the Good Book, which is going to be a discussion about a Bible. Those of you who don't know me, I'm a Bible geek. Metaphysical Bible geek now, and this will be an opportunity, and I welcome anyone to join us. Again, the link is at unitycanada.org. And that brings us to the conclusion of our announcements, and let us just take a moment to envision the children in our lives, in our spiritual community, our neighborhoods, our schools, our families around the world, knowing that they too are the lights of the world and that they too bring wisdom that can only bless the world. And we join together in saying, children and youth of unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And right now, the chaos that is Christmas is perfect in every way. Love watching kids going shopping at Christmas. And as we bring this gathering to a close, we join together in our prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And Sue Riley's going to sing us out.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas. A blessed 2024 to you, and I will see you on the 7th of January.